Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We are live, baby. We are live. We are live talking Mets, talking the latest news with the New York Mets. What's going on? What's the latest? Are the Mets going to get Jake Diekman? Are the Mets, we're going to get into a couple of topics. We're going to get into a whole bunch of the Mets outlook, the 2024 outlook for the New York Mets, the opinions on the prospects, everything to deal with those situations. But yeah, man, if you're new to the stream, welcome to the stream, guys. Definitely all things Mets, where you get your latest Mets media, guys. Yeah, man. Let's get started today, and we're gonna start with Jake Diekman. Jake Diekman, yes, the Mets have interest in Jake Diekman. They offered a 2-year contract, multiple year contract to Wandy Peralta, and that did not work out for the New York Mets. He ended up signing a 4-year deal with the San Diego Padres, man. But it is what it is. But yeah, man, let's go, man. Let's go. Let's get this stream started. Let's get it going. And yeah, man. Tell you this, it's good to be back. Good to be good to be back streaming. Took me some time to get the setup back. Had to get some furniture in and stuff like that. But definitely excited to get back started. So yeah, with the New York Mets right now, the 2024, the bullpen, basically the bullpen, it looks like it's almost set. What's going on, Jason? How you doing? Saludos, bro. Saludos. How you doing, man? Good to see you. Good to see you. Hope everything is good with you. I'm excited about, the Mets in 2024. I feel like this is going to be a very, a good season for us. I think this is going to be a good season for us. We'll see what happens. I know a lot of people were not happy with, what the Mets been doing. But yeah, man, Jason, that's good to, hear that you've been doing good, man. Saludos. Todo bien. Eso muy bueno. Yeah, man. I'm glad to, have you here. Man, how you feeling about the Mets right now? How you feeling about the 2024 the New York Mets? Because I know a lot of people aren't happy, but you know, I'm feeling okay. I'm feeling okay. In my opinion, I feel like this year they didn't want to make a lot of crazy moves, a lot of so much moves, so they ended up going a different route rather than the recent 2 years. Oh, you happy? Okay, 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 okay. I'm glad to hear that, bro. I'm glad to hear that. Yeah, but to be honest, it was for me. I wasn't so happy with the beginning. Like I was once we got Luis Severino, I was like, okay, it's Luis Severino. This is the big first move that David Stearns is gonna make. But then it took me some time. I started thinking, and I was like, you know what? I'm well. DM. Oh, you DM me on IG. Okay, good to hear, bro. Good to hear. Yeah, bro. Yeah, definitely. I haven't really checked IG in a little bit, but yeah, I appreciate you, bro. Yeah, man. I mean, going on with the Mets right now, you know, they have interest in Jake Diekman, and apparently they might sign Jake Diekman. So they're nearing a deal with Jake Diekman, which is good for the New York Mets because then they're going to have another lefty. They're going to have Brooks Raley and possibly Jake Diekman. So I like Jake Diekman. I like that he was in the Tampa Bay Rays formerly. He's a good reliever, guy that switched his mechanics recently. But yeah, man. At the end of the day, with the Mets, it's not a lot going on with the Mets right now, to be honest. But yeah, just in general, the New York Mets, the 2024 outlook, I would say that this year coming out, this year 2024 for the New York Mets, it's going to be a very different year than we possibly seen in last year. Definitely last year was a horrible year for the New York Mets. Definitely last year was a horrible year for the New York Mets. Let me just lower this down a little bit. Yeah, definitely last year was a horrible year for the New York Mets. They barely won any games. They just really didn't do much, to be honest. But 2022 was a really good year for the Mets. And 2024, I don't know what it's going to be for the Mets. I don't know what's going to happen with the New York Mets in 2024, but I think it's going to be exciting. I really do. Hmm. Switch this up a little bit. Let me see what's going on with the latest news with the Mets right now. Anything on Jake Diekman yet? Nearing a deal. Still, you know. Yeah, the Mets so far they still not have signed Jake Diekman, but they were nearing a deal with him. I hope they get the deal done because this will definitely help the bullpen. This guy is a good reliever. A typical lefty reliever. I think he will be better than Brooks Raley in my opinion. I like Brooks Raley, but I definitely think Jake Diekman, another lefty, was needed in the bullpen. And you've seen recently, with baseball teams that two lefties looks pretty good. So, just an example of two lefties would be Gregory Soto for the Phillies and Jose Alvarado, man. Hey, what's going on, Victor? How you doing, Victor? How you doing? What's going on? Yeah, Diekman, man. Jake Diekman. I think Jake Diekman is going to be hopefully a good piece for the Mets. I really think if they get this deal done, I'm happy about this deal. I really think this guy is a good reliever. He switched his mechanics recently. Definitely with the Tampa Bay Rays, they switched some stuff with him, but he has he's 37 years old, so it's not like he's the youngest reliever ever. But definitely, when it comes to relievers, you don't know what they're gonna be, but the Mets offered Wandy Peralta a 2-year deal, multiple years, and Wandy Peralta just didn't take the deal. He did not take the deal. He wanted to, have more security, so he took a 4-year deal with the San Diego Padres. And I feel like personally, Wandy Peralta could have been a really good sign for the New York Mets. But if the Mets are able to get this guy, Jake Diekman, I like it. I definitely think this guy, compared to Brooks Raley, why not get another lefty in the bullpen? Because the bullpen needs help. The bullpen definitely needs help. But I like the bullpen the way it's shaping up to be. I know it's not the bullpen that a lot of people, wanted. They wanted Josh Hader. They wanted Edwin Diaz. They wanted so much. They wanted David Robertson back. I personally wanted David Robertson back, but it didn't happen. I feel like they could have brought David Robertson back if they really wanted to. But maybe he just didn't want to come to the Mets. I don't know. I don't know if they had interest in him, but I know that when it comes to the Mets, I like the Jorge Lopez is like, under the radar little minor league signing could really lead to some possible upside, which I really like. So Michael Tomlin is also another reliever that can, was a minor league signing, and he could lead to some upside as well. But when it comes to the Mets, the bullpen guys, when it comes to the Mets, like I want the bullpen to be good. And I think this bullpen has potential to be better than last year's bullpen. And obviously, we know how last year started with Edwin Diaz getting injured. And that was a big part of, the bullpen not being so well. So this year, 2024, though, I like the bullpen. I like the way this is shaping out to be. Bringing back Ottavino, I wasn't the biggest fan of Ottavino when he was in the Mets. But they brought him back. They brought him back. He declined his option. Then they brought him back. It is what it is. I think Adam Ottavino is a decent reliever. I just think he's very inconsistent, in my opinion. But at the end of the day, the Mets needed somebody in that bullpen that could help. Edwin Diaz and help. Guys like Drew Smith and them, and that's Ottavino. So I like the deal. I like what they're doing. We'll see what the Mets do, later. But do we think that the Mets really need a DH? Because I personally think they do. I think they should go for a guy like Jorge Soler, go for a guy like JD Martinez. In my opinion, I really think they should go for a guy like, Jorge Soler, which is in my opinion, a really, really good option behind Alonso. Imagine Jorge Soler in the lineup behind Alonso. You know? Sorry, I had to fix something there. But yeah, just in general, guys, when it comes to the Mets, I think they need to make another move. If they really want to be competitive in 2024, I get not going after the starting pitching. You already went after Yamamoto. It didn't happen. So you go after guys like Sean Manaea. You go after guys like Luis Severino. You go after guys like Adrian Hauser. You trade for him. I get that. You got Kodai Senga. You got Quintana. You already got your rotation. I like the rotation. I personally like the rotation. It took me a little time to really think about the rotation and what it would be. But I think Sean Manaea is going to be a really good pitcher for the New York Mets. I think Luis Severino is going to have a bounce back year. I really have confidence in that. And you got to have confidence in that, right? Like you got to have confidence in that, to be honest. Like you got to have, a little confidence in that. So but yeah, man, when it comes to the Mets 2024, I think this is going to be a decent year for us. When the Mets don't have a lot of high expectations, they do really good. Like in 2022, the Mets did not have high expectations, and then they ended up winning 101 games. So the fact that they won 101 games, then you know, they won 70 something, 75 games in 2023, and they had high expectations after 2022. So this year, 2024, the Mets don't have those high expectations, which I think is going to be up on the plus side for the New York Mets. The Yankees have a lot of expectations. They got to get to the playoffs. They got to win the World Series. If it's not, it's a bust, because why would you get Juan Soto and you don't win it? You don't win the World Series, So when it comes to the Yankees and the Mets, I think the Mets have least expectations, and I think that's going to be better for the Mets, in my opinion. What's going on, Sanders? How you doing? Now the Mets bullpen is solid. I really think that, I agree with you. I think that the Mets bullpen is solid. It's not the best bullpen in the world. I know a lot of people expected, for the Mets to get maybe a Josh Hader, maybe a David Robertson, maybe you go for guys like that. Maybe you go for a guy like Jordan Hicks, but it didn't end up happening that way. But I like the Jorge Lopez signing. I do like the Jake Diekman. If he possibly becomes a Met, I really think this guy is going to be, a good reliever for the Mets. So yeah, I really think this bullpen is solid. You have Edwin Diaz coming back. Edwin Diaz coming back is huge for the team, because we saw last year, we saw the Mets struggle to have a closer. We saw that David Robertson was the closer for the New York Mets, but they didn't have anybody else really in the bullpen that can be that setup man for David Robertson last year. So what they ended up doing is, in 2024, Edwin Diaz, you got coming back. So why not get Ottavino back, bring him back? And listen, Ottavino, he's an okay reliever. He's not the best reliever in the world, but to me, he's inconsistent. That's my thing with Adam Ottavino. So I wouldn't put him at a spot in the 8th inning, in my opinion, but they don't really have a lot of other options. So yeah, man, they don't really have a lot of another options. But I really think that when it comes to the Mets, this bullpen is solid. Like you said, this bullpen is solid. Now they should sign Eddie Rosario to platoon with Mark Vientos. Eddie Rosario, I'm not going to disagree with you. I think that's not a bad deal right there. I think that's a pretty good, but are you confident in Mark Vientos right now? Are you going to give all the DH time to Mark Vientos? Because if you do platoon him, is that going to hurt him? Because we know that Mark Vientos is a guy that likes playing every day, loves playing every day. His whole career, he's been playing every day, except for with the Mets. So this is a guy, Mark Vientos, that, the Mets want to give this a legit shot at this young guy. Maybe they really do want him to run with the DH. Maybe they don't want him to have a platoon. I like Eddie Rosario. I think Eddie Rosario is a good. He has a good bat. Definitely I like Eddie Rosario. He could play the field a little bit, but I like what you're saying with Eddie Rosario. But are the Mets going to do that? Because I don't know. I think right now the Mets, right now, they want to give a real shot to Mark Vientos, like a real legitimate shot to run with Mark Vientos as the DH. Is that the answer? Is that personally the right thing to do? I don't know. But I tell you this, man, the Mets would have looked a lot different in 2024, man, if we would have got a guy like Jorge Soler in the DH spot or JD Martinez in the DH spot. It would have looked a lot different. The lineup would have been more solid. Definitely a lineup with JD Martinez or Jorge Soler behind Pete Alonso, having basically gonna try to have a career last year with the New York Mets to make sure that he gets so much money, because Pete Alonso's going to be motivated. So when it comes to the Mets, what's going to happen with the DH? Are the Mets just going to run with Mark Vientos as the DH? Because we only have 1 month to the spring training. When does spring training start? February? I don't know. Is it February? February they report, right? I think February they report to the field. March probably 1st they start spring training. I don't really know. I kind of forgot because they've been changing it, recently in the recent years, opening day, making it sooner, making it later. So I think that the Mets, though, when it comes to the DH situation, are you confident in Mark Vientos? Because I don't know. I don't know if I am. I don't know if I want Mark Vientos as the Mets DH. I think he has potential, but I don't know, man. This is a guy that I feel like his swing is long. He has a lot of issues when it comes to his swing. He strikes out. I don't know. Is this the answer for the New York Mets? I get that the Mets maybe don't want to spend so much more money. And I know Jorge Soler is going to cost a lot of money. JD Martinez is going to cost a lot of money. But when it comes to the Mets, the DH situation, Mark Vientos, are you confident in that? Like, I don't know. I really don't know. But yeah, definitely, guys. I really say this. When it comes to the Mets, they need, in my opinion, a really good DH. If they want to go far, if with their lineup, they need a guy like Jorge Soler or JD Martinez. I'm not confident in Mark Vientos. I mean, maybe Eddie Rosario platoon, maybe. I don't know. But I agree the bullpen is solid. I agree that the bullpen is getting a lot better. It possibly could be better than last year. Definitely, I think it will be better than last year. You just have more options. You just have more options. It would have been nice if the Mets would have had a David Robertson, because we could have seen the David Robertson, Edwin Diaz setup man closer connection that we didn't get to see in 2023. But it is what it is at the end of the day. It is what it is at the end of the day. But yeah, how are we feeling about the Mets right now? How are we feeling about the Mets? Because right now, going into 2024, I know that the Mets, want to get younger, and I get that. And, but they're putting a lot of stock into guys like Jet Williams. into guys like Drew Gilbert, into a guy like Mark Vientos? Are these guys the answer? Is Drew Gilbert going to be an impactful player for the New York Mets? I think Drew Gilbert is going to have an impactful, year when he comes to the Mets. I think he's going to be a very impactful player. Jet Williams, this guy is skyrocketed in the system. Right now, he said that he wants to make the major league team in 2024. Obviously, every prospect possibly wants to say that. But this guy, man, Jet Williams, watch out for Jet Williams, because if he has a really, really good double A, he could possibly promote it to triple A. And if he has a really good triple A, then he might come up to the majors in 2024. I don't think that that's going to happen. I think they're going to wait, and they're going to wait for him to, develop, and, because they don't want to rush him, but he's advanced, and I think he should be in the 2025 discussion. He got to be on the 2025 team when it comes to the New York Mets. He has to be. And Luis Angel Acuna, that's a prospect that, in my opinion, I think Luis Angel Acuna, his speed is game changing. He steals one of the most bases in the league. When he comes to the major league, he's going to steal a lot of bases. But is his bat ready? Is his bat ready for major league starting, pitching? Now that's a little debate. I don't know. So when it comes to the Mets, I don't know if this deal is official yet. I'm really trying to see right now. I'm not hearing that it's official just yet. Yeah, no, I don't know if this deal is official just yet. Yeah, I'm not saying that the Jake Diekman deal is official just yet, but I hope that it becomes official, because that's a guy that definitely could help out the bullpen. He could definitely be, a help. And, I think he could be better than Brooks Raley. I like Brooks Raley, but I definitely think that this guy, Jake Diekman, would be a good sign for the New York Mets. When it comes to the bullpen, definitely. I think Jorge Lopez is going to have a bounce back year, and he's going to surprise a lot of people. I think what's going on, Yuki? What's going on? Yo, Randy, more bargain bin shopping. Well, yeah, Yuki. The thing is, when it comes to the Mets, they offered a deal, a 2-year deal to what's it called? Wandy Peralta for a 2-year deal, but he didn't take it. He ended up going to the San Diego Padres for 4 years. The Yankees offered Wandy Peralta years as well. But so it's not like the Mets didn't try to get Wandy Peralta. It would have been a good deal for the Mets, but they ended up, not having him. He ended up going to the Padres for 4 years with 3-player opt-outs, which is crazy. Like, he literally could opt out after every single year if he wants. If he wants, he could opt out after next year. After this year, he could opt out. So, but yeah, I'm personally, I know that this is not Josh Hader. This is not Josh Hader, Edwin Diaz, David Robertson, Jordan Hicks. This is not the dream bullpen that we wanted. I get that, but this is a solid bullpen. I like, bringing back Ottavino, because you needed someone to, help you out in that bullpen. And, me personally, I would not have loved to bring back Ottavino, and I would have signed to Jordan Hicks, but Jordan Hicks got so much money from the Giants, so his price tag was probably too much. But I think this year, guys, we just have to chill out. We just have to be patient. This year is going to be a year where the Mets don't have a lot of expectations, and we've seen what the Mets do when they don't have expectations. They win a lot of games. In 2022, the Mets did not have any expectations. No expectations. And they ended up winning 101 games. Yes, they fell to the Padres in the playoffs, but they didn't have expectations. 2023, you saw the expectations that they had. They brought a guy like Justin Verlander. They had Max Scherzer still on the team. They got Kodai Senga as well. So they made a lot of moves, but it didn't work out. So, you know, it's a tough one. Instead of lying to the fans, just tell us we are dumpster divers, no World Series, no aces, and the Mets. Yuki, I'm not gonna lie. I know what you're saying. No, you're right. We did choke. We choked. We choked. The Mets choked in the National League East when it could. You know why? They didn't have a lot of power. That lineup in 2022 did not have a lot of power. Yes, they won 101 games, but they did not have a lot of power. And I've been saying this for years. The Mets need a guy like JD Martinez, needed a guy like Jorge Soler. Like, I know that the Mets, but listen, this year, I know you're saying that to tell us we're dumpster divers. I get what you're saying, but listen, after 2 years of stuff not working out for the Mets, they literally went out and got almost every free agent they wanted. They got Justin Verlander. They got Max Scherzer. They had Jacob deGrom, Max Scherzer together. They had Verlander, Max Scherzer together. They brought back Brandon Nimmo. They brought back Edwin Diaz. They got, they made some moves, but it didn't work out. It didn't work out. So why not take a year to, just, save some money, develop your talent, and maybe 2025, you can go for a guy like Juan Soto. You can go for a guy like Zach Wheeler, who's going to be a free agent, because 2025 is going to be a lot of free agent pitching. A lot of free agent pitching. So this year, I know that the Mets don't look like the best team on paper. They do not. The Mets look like a mediocre team when it comes to the Braves, when it comes to the Phillies. Yes, I get that. But like I said, when they don't have expectations, you see what they do. All we had to do was win one game out of the three versus the Braves. You're completely right, bro. I completely agree with you. I agree with you completely. Like, all the Mets had to do was win 22. One game, but that's how much better the Braves were, because they had the power. They had the power. And power, home runs, is a big thing in baseball. And the Mets did not have a lot of power in 2022, and that's why they lost. That's why they lost. Plain and simple. The Mets lost those 3 games because they did not have much power. If they would have had, definitely a guy like JD Martinez, definitely a guy like Jorge Soler, somebody, they brought Francisco Alvarez. His first series was against the Braves in a playoff atmosphere, and you expected him to do something? No, he was not going to do anything. He wasn't ready. He was not ready. Francisco Alvarez was not ready to face major league pitching, especially a guy, guys like Charlie Morton, guys like Max Fried, those type of guys. Francisco Alvarez just wasn't ready. No heart. Mets are missing people that care. Tommy Pham said the Mets are the laziest group. Yeah, Tommy Pham, he really was outspoken about that. He said that the Mets were, very lazy, and when it comes to the Mets, I feel like that's on the manager. That's on the manager. I feel like that's on Buck. That's on Buck, because you're the manager. That's on Buck Showalter. If Tommy Pham says the Mets were lazy, they were not, practicing so much to, in their pregame, their stuff, and they didn't get out there early and that type of stuff. If that's true and they were lazy, that's on the manager. So I hope that Carlos Mendoza in 2024, I hope that he gets on the players. I hope that he doesn't, maybe he changes, the attitude in the clubhouse because, like you said, Tommy Pham said they're lazy. Maybe they were. Maybe they weren't. I don't know. I really think that when it comes to the New York Mets and, the fact that Tommy Pham said that, I don't think that he was lying. I really don't think that Tommy Pham was lying when it comes to that situation, guys. I really don't think. But when it comes to the Mets, guys, this year, 2024, the outlook, listen, you know, getting a guy like Sean Manaea, getting a guy like Luis Severino, getting a guy like Adrian Hauser, in the rotation, it's not the most exciting thing in the world, but I think it's solid. I think this rotation is going to be solid if some things work out. If Luis Severino doesn't have a bounce back year, then this is going to be horrible for Luis Severino and the Mets. If Sean Manaea doesn't have a good year with the Mets, then this is going to be bad as well. So the Mets are depending on a lot of bounce back years, especially with the bullpen guy, Jorge Lopez. So he has to have a bounce back year. So when it comes to the Mets, they need bounce back years. So they need Jeff McNeil to have a really good year. They need Pete Alonso to have a monster year. Francisco Alvarez needs to have an even better year than he had in the first year. So when it comes to the Mets, 2024, it is what it is. But I'm still excited for the season. I'm still excited. Miguel Cadoro, how you doing, bro? Welcome to the stream. Good signing. Let's go. Bullpen is good. Okay, so you think that the bullpen is good? Some people think that the bullpen is trash. In my opinion, I think that the bullpen is solid. I think this is not the dream bullpen. This is not the Josh Hader, David Robertson, Edwin Diaz bullpen, but this is still a good bullpen. It really is. I think this, Jorge Lopez, I think he's going to have a bounce back year. I think Ottavino is going to have a decent year. I don't want to see Ottavino in big spots, in my opinion. I don't want to see him in, in a closing. I don't want to see him closing for the Mets in any game. I don't want to see that. I think, you're bringing back Edwin Diaz. Yes, I hope that Edwin Diaz comes back strong. I hope he has a great year. I hope that he has a year just like, the year in 2022. I really hope so. But I don't know what it's going to be with Edwin Diaz. I don't know how he's going to come back, but I like the bullpen. I really do like, a Jake Diekman. I really think Jake Diekman, if he comes to the Mets, the deal, I don't know if it's official just yet. If you know anything, if the deal's official, let me know. Because I don't know. I don't think the deal with Jake Diekman is official just yet. So the bullpen is solid right now, but they need Jake Diekman to definitely help the bullpen. In my opinion, I would have brought back David Robertson. I would have brought back Jordan Hicks. And I would have maybe tried to sign a guy like, oh, it is official? It is official? Okay. Let me take a look over here, man. Sorry. All right. Let me see. Mets, Jake Diekman. All right. Well, listen. If it is official, then cool. Then great. I'm happy for the Mets because I think Jake Diekman is going to be a good reliever for the Mets. Like I said, previously, his mechanics got better in the Tampa Bay Rays system, because they helped them out. But yeah, man, how are we looking? How do you guys think 2024 is going to be for the Mets? Are you just completely, depressed and not happy with what the Mets did in the 2024 offseason? Or are you excited about the Mets still? Because, I really think personally, this 2024 is going to be a big year for the Mets. Like I said, they do not have a lot of high expectations. The Yankees have the high expectations, right? The Yankees brought Juan Soto to the New York Yankees. So if they don't win the World Series, it's a bust, right? Because I know that the Mets, the Yankees, The Mets don't have a lot of high expectations. The Yankees do, though. The Yankees got to get a guy. They got to get to the World Series. You have Juan Soto and Aaron Judge. You have no excuse, right? But you don't know. You don't know. That's the thing. That's the thing. What I love about baseball is it's unpredictable, man. You don't know what it's gonna be. You didn't know that the Diamondbacks were gonna go to the World Series in 2023. Nobody knew that. I'm not saying that the Mets are the Diamondbacks of going into 2024. I'm not saying that at all. But I think that personally, I really do think that they don't have a lot of high expectations. I think you have Francisco Alvarez coming back for a full year. I can't wait to see what Francisco Alvarez, does in a full year for the Mets. He has a lot to learn, though. Francisco Alvarez has to cut down on strikeouts. He has to cut down on chasing the balls. He has to be better at catcher defensively. But Francisco Alvarez is just 22 years old. He's really young. So when it comes to the Mets, guys, Jason said, I would love to see, let me see what he said. I would love to see Juan Soto on the Mets in 2025. Yeah, man, I would love to see it too. But I don't know. I don't know if that's going to happen. I think 2025 is going to be a crazy year for the Mets because you're possibly going to have Luis Angel Acuna coming up. You're going to have Drew Gilbert coming up. You're going to possibly have, Jet Williams in 2025 for the Mets. And you have Ronnie Mauricio coming back. And you have so much. The Mets have a lot of prospects in 2025 that could be big, impactful players for the Mets. Really, 2025 could be a very, very exciting year for the Mets because they're going to have a lot of prospects. They're going to have, and I can't wait to see what Jet Williams does in the major league, roster. I can't wait to see what Luis Angel Acuna does. In my opinion, I think Luis Angel Acuna, his speed is game-changing. Game-changing. This is a guy who can steal you 50-something stolen bases. Just like his brother. He could steal 40-something bases. He could steal. So, when it comes to the Mets, Luis Angel Acuna, I like his potential. But his bat, I don't know if his bat is there yet. I think he still needs to have more power. I hope he's working out in the offseason. He is a little guy, and what you have seen in the minors is Jet Williams possibly has more power than Luis Angel Acuna. And, I would hope that Luis Angel Acuna has, more power than Jet Williams, in my opinion. Our prospects are midgets. I'm not excited for little players. Yuki, I'm going to tell you this. Nobody was really excited when they saw Jose Altuve. I'm not saying that all the guys are going to end up being like Jose Altuve, but that is an exception. That is an exception because Jose Altuve, you didn't know what he was going to be. And Jose Altuve ended up being one of the best major league little guys in the season. Jet Williams is a guy. I like his swing. I like his, I like his power. I like his ability, his defensive ability as well. And I really like him. I really think Jet Williams is going to be a good prospect for the Mets. But I know that his size is going to be a factor. I know a lot of people are not going to be excited about the size when it comes to guys like Luis Angel Acuna, when it comes to guys like Jet Williams. And I get it. Because they're smaller guys. Okay, they're not the big guys. They're not big, powerful guys, but the Mets still have also Ryan Clifford as well. The Mets have Ryan Clifford, Drew Gilbert. I'm going to tell you this. Drew Gilbert is going to be a game changer for the Mets. Game changer prospect for the Mets. He's going to be possibly the most impactful player when it comes to all of them. In my opinion, I really think Drew Gilbert is going to have a really, really good Mets career. I really think, because I love the way he plays. He plays with freaking fire, man. He plays like fire's on his head. He plays with energy. He brings it. He has a good swing. He has power. He has speed. He can be your future center fielder. So he can be in the outfield. He can be in the Mets in 2025, possibly 2020. Drew Gilbert is 5'9". Drew Gilbert might be 5'9", but he has power. You can't tell me Drew Gilbert doesn't have power. Have you seen the college home runs? Have you seen the home runs in AA? He has power. He has power. He might not be the tallest guy in the world. I'm 6 feet, so I'm taller than Drew Gilbert. But still, this guy has power. Drew Gilbert has power, and I'm not gonna say he doesn't. So, but Luis Angel Acuna, I don't know. I haven't seen a lot of power from him. We did not see a lot of power from Luis Angel Acuna in the Mets in 2023. Jet Williams, we saw a little bit of power, which I liked. We saw speed, which I liked. So Jet Williams, Luis Angel Acuna, I know that they're smaller guys. And I know that a lot of people are concerned about the size, and I get it. It's not like I don't get it. I understand. But you don't know what they're going to be. You don't know what they're going to be. And I like Drew Gilbert, bro. I really think Drew Gilbert is going to be a game changer when it comes to the Mets. So when it comes to 2024, Mark Vientos, let's talk about Mark Vientos for a little bit. Are you guys excited about Mark Vientos 2024? Are you guys excited about him getting a legitimate shot at the DH spot? Because me personally, I would go for a guy like Jorge Soler. I would go for a guy like JD Martinez. I would personally go after a guy like that over having Mark Vientos for a full season. Listen, Mark Vientos, I don't know. Me and Mark Vientos, we don't click. I haven't seen a lot of Mark Vientos that I really like. I don't know if it's his swing. I don't know if that the strikeouts. I don't know if that he has power. It's not like he doesn't have power, but it hasn't worked out. He hasn't put it all together yet. And his swing is so long. I really think he has to cut down on his swing, man. I don't know. Let me know what you guys think. What do you guys think about Mark Vientos? Are you guys running with the DH spot with Mark Vientos for a full season? Are you guys happy with that? Or are you going to do a platoon? Are you gonna get a guy like Jorge Soler or JD Martinez? I don't know. I want Eddie Rosario as the DH. You're not the first person who said that. Somebody also said that as well. Sanders said that as well. But listen, Eddie Rosario, I'm not gonna say that's gonna be a bad piece. I definitely think that in general, I like it. I like what you're saying with Eddie Rosario. But me personally, I would like Jorge Soler as the DH spot over anybody. A guy that can hit you over 35 home runs, like what? He's a 2-time World Series MVP. And the Mets, I know maybe they don't want to spend so much money on him. Maybe they don't want to spend so much money, so they're not going to go after him. It is what it is. Jeffrey said that the bullpen is solid. Indeed, give David Stearns some credit. Give David Stearns some credit. This is what Jeffrey is saying. Give David Stearns some credit. He is brilliant. He has a good track record in being a winner. Okay? I'm going to tell you this. I like what you're saying. I like everything you're saying right now. He is brilliant. I really think he is brilliant. I like what he has done. I like that, he's really studied these guys, researched these guys. And in my opinion, he does have a track record of making the playoffs, but he's never won the World Series. And it's very, very hard to win the World Series. But you don't know. You don't know. I like it, though. I like what you're saying. I really do like what you're saying. But when it comes to the Mets, guys, the bullpen, are we done with the bullpen? Go see the I know the Caribbean, the Caribbean series. Yeah, I heard about that. But definitely, guys, when it comes to the Mets, the bullpen, are we done? Are the Mets done? Maybe. I know that they really wanted a lefty. They really wanted another bullpen arm, and they went after Ottavino, and they went after Jake Diekman. So maybe they are done. Maybe the Mets are done. My opinion. I don't know. But yeah, guys, when it comes to the Mets in 2024, I think that this year is going to be surprising for a lot of people. A lot of people are going to be surprised by what the Mets do. They could absolutely suck. They could suck. It could be a mediocre team and look horrible. But you still, in my opinion, you still got a good team. You got Francisco Lindor for another year. Francisco Lindor is a guy that can play so many games, stays healthy, doesn't really get injured. You got Francisco Alvarez coming back for a full year, his second really year in the majors. His second full year in the majors. He, could possibly play 140 something games, 150 games maybe. He's 22 years old. He's young. He could do it. You got Jeff McNeil coming back. Maybe Jeff McNeil figures it out and has a good season. You got Brandon Nimmo. Brandon Nimmo, man, in my opinion, I think Brandon Nimmo had a really, really good year in 2023. Really, really good year. And not a lot of people talked about it. Because of where the Mets ended up being in 2023. But Brandon Nimmo had a really, really good year. Also had a power year as well. He grew into more power. He was hitting more home runs. Me personally, I like Brandon Nimmo. And if he hits for power, I would maybe put him in another spot that isn't the leadoff spot. You got Harrison Bader on the Mets. Yes, the Mets signed Harrison Bader. So you're possibly going to have him in left field. You got Harrison Bader in left field. I like Harrison Bader. You saw the impactful player he was for the New York Yankees. Yes, he did get hurt. But when he wasn't hurt, he was really good for the Mets. He was one of the best players in the Yankees. So when it comes to the Mets, they have a lot of exciting players. You got Starling Marte coming back. He looked okay. He looked okay in the Dominican Winter League. You don't know what he's gonna be, right? You don't know what he's gonna be. I would have personally loved to see my boy Ronnie Mauricio for a full season with the New York Mets. But my boy got injured. And it is what it is. Now I gotta wait till 2025 to see my boy Ronnie Mauricio. It is what it is. You got Brett Beatty. He's going to be your third baseman. Him, Joey Wendell. Are we happy with Beatty? I don't know. This year's make or break for Beatty. I think this year is really make or break for Brett Beatty. If he does not have a good year, he's getting traded. He is getting traded if he doesn't have a good year. Because, Brett Beatty last year was really his big, big chance. But this year, 2024, is his last chance. Especially because of the prospects that you got coming up in 2025. You got Ronnie Mauricio coming back in 2025, so you don't know where Beatty's spot is going to be in 2025. So he has a lot of pressure on him. But yeah, I really think personally, when it comes to the Mets, 2024 looks good. It looks exciting. It's not like they lost a lot of people, So the pitching rotation, it's not the best in the world, but I like Sean Manaea. I like Luis Severino. I hope that they figure him out because I really think they need to figure out Luis Severino. 2024, 2024 should be a big year for Luis Severino. If they figure it out. But yeah, guys, how are we feeling right now about the Mets? How are we feeling? Are you guys excited? Are you guys not excited? Are you guys disappointed? I don't know. Me, 2024, I think is going to be a really good year for the Mets because they don't have a lot of expectations, in my opinion. So 2024, they don't have a lot of expectations. You saw in 2022 what they did. They won 101 games. 101 games in 2022. Yes, they didn't end up winning the playoff series, the playoff wild card series. Yes, they could have won the game, and but Yuki said the Mets fans should be ashamed. The Yankees got Soto, the Dodgers got Ohtani and Yamamoto. Should the Mets fans be ashamed? He's saying that he's saying that the Mets fans should be ashamed. I think that Otani wasn't going to happen for the Mets. It was never going to happen for the Mets. Otani Otani's interest was always the West Coast, and we knew he was going to go to the Dodgers. It's not like we didn't know. And I should have figured this, that Yamamoto was going to go to the Dodgers with his boy Otani, especially his first game, his first ever thing doing in LA, going to a Lakers game. I knew this was going to happen. Imagine if we would have kept Verlander. Yuki. Imagine if we would have kept Verlander, but then you go by saying, imagine if we would have kept Verlander, but we would not have Drew Gilbert. We would not have Ryan Clifford. We would not have those prospects in our system right now if we didn't make that move. If we didn't trade for Verlander, I personally think, and I really think this, Verlander's a good pitcher. Verlander's a first ballot Hall of Famer. He's a really good pitcher. He pitched good down the stretch for the Astros. But no, I would not want to keep him. No, I would not want to have him on the team. Oh my gosh. Yuki, the small potatoes next to Verlander. Yo, man, I'm going to tell you this. I think you're not seeing the potential that Drew Gilbert and Ryan Clifford could have. Is Ryan Clifford small? I thought Ryan Clifford was big. I thought he was tall. He's not tall. Maybe he's not. I personally think Drew Gilbert is going to be a very impactful player for the New York Mets in 2025. I think he's going to be very impactful. I think he's going to be an impactful player like a Brandon Nimmo, like a Michael Conforto. Me personally, I think he's going to be better than Michael Conforto. Because Drew Gilbert plays with fire on his head. I love the way he plays baseball, man. He has power. It's not like he doesn't have power. He has a good power. He has a good swing too. He hits the ball very, very far. So he might be smaller, but this guy is going to be a star. He's going to be a star for the New York Mets. And I'm calling it right now. He's going to be a star. 2025. He's going to be a star. But, it is what it is. I know a lot of Mets fans aren't happy with what the Mets are doing, with what the Mets have did. They could have kept Verlander. Then they would not have Drew Gilbert. They would not have Ryan Clifford. They could have kept Max Scherzer. They would not have Luis Angel Acuna. You had what? One more year with Max Scherzer? One more year, I think. Those guys are old. They're not going to win you a World Series. You saw what Max Scherzer did with the Texas Rangers? Did you see what he did with the Texas Rangers? He didn't win. He didn't win the World Series. It wasn't him that won the World Series. It was the team. Max Scherzer was hurt. Max Scherzer tried to come back, and he got eat up by the Astros. Justin Verlander is a really good pitcher. He is. But he's old. In my opinion, they're old. And I don't want those old guys on the team anymore. I'm happy Carlos Carrasco's gone. I'm happy Justin Verlander's gone. And I'm happy, Max Scherzer's gone. Because those guys are old. We need to get younger. But let's talk about the starting pitching. Starting pitching for the Mets. Prospect-wise, you got Mike Vassell, who possibly could be in the rotation in 2024. I like Mike Vassell. He did struggle a little bit in AAA, but I definitely like him over David Peterson. So David Peterson is hurt. Maybe Mike Vassell gets a chance. Maybe he does get a chance. Maybe he doesn't. But I'll tell you this: I like Mike Vassell. I like Christian Scott. I like Dominic Hamill. I like those prospects when it comes to the Mets. They're not. I wouldn't say they're ace pitchers. Ace. Future pitchers. But you didn't know what Jacob DeGrom was gonna be. You never knew what if Jacob DeGrom first came to the New York Mets. When he first came up, he wasn't supposed to be an ace pitcher. You know who was supposed to be the ace? Rafael Montero. He was supposed to be the big guy. He was supposed to be the ace. He was supposed to be the big prospect. And guess what? DeGrom outshined him. So, me personally, I think when it comes to the Mets, I just hope that they figure out, somebody that somebody that becomes part of their core starting rotation. Like you got Kodai Senga for the next 4 years, 3 years, or something like that. Cool, but I hope that Mike Vassell becomes a big part of the rotation. I hope that Christian Scott becomes a big part of the rotation. I hope that, maybe we do trade for, or we do sign a guy like, I know that the Mets haven't had a lot of good luck when it comes to drafting pitching recently. So I don't know, man. It's tough. It's tough because obviously we want the dream rotation that we had with Matt Harvey, Jacob DeGrom, Steven Matz, Noah Syndergaard, Zach Wheeler. We want that. We want it back. We want it back, right? We want that rotation back, but we just can't have it. We can't have it. Will the Mets ever have a rotation like that again? Will the Mets ever have a rotation like Matt Harvey, Zach Wheeler, Jacob DeGrom? So much people. Will we have that back? Alexa, volume 2. Will the Mets have that rotation ever again? I don't know. I really don't know, but man, I just hope that the Mets do some changes. You know what I'm saying? Draft for this. This is why I like getting guys like David Stearns, as the president of baseball operations, because he's a guy that he knows baseball, man. And I know a lot of people are calling him Dumpster Dave, and a lot of people aren't happy with Dave, and I get it. But for the last 2 years, they tried to be competitive. They tried to be crazy competitive. They tried to go for it all, and it didn't work. It didn't work. So, not going for a guy like Blake Snell, not going for a guy like Jordan Montgomery, it is what it is. The Mets don't want to do that. The Mets don't want to do that. They want to go a different route. And I think, me personally, I think when it comes to 2024, this is the route that the Mets should take. I really think this year is the year to take this route because of do you guys know in 2025 who's going to be a free agent? You possibly have Zach Wheeler as a free agent. You have so many free agents, pitchers. So I really think that this year is the perfect year to do this, to do what David Stearns is doing. But yeah, man. But let me know what you guys think, man. How are you guys feeling about the Mets right now? How are we feeling about the 2024 outlook? How are we feeling about, the prospects? How are we feeling? Because I don't know, man. It's tough. It's tough because it's really like for the last I'm gonna tell you this. According to Andy Martino, Mets only got $5 million to spend. The richest owner. We are on a budget. We're on a budget for this year. We're on a budget for this year, but we will not be on a budget for 2025. We weren't on a budget. That's the thing. So I'm gonna tell you this. Do you think that we really were on a budget if we went for Yamamoto? We offered Yamamoto 300 and something, 25 million. We offered Yamamoto so much money. We offered him the same deal as the Dodgers. The Mets are not on a budget. They just don't want to spend any more money anymore right now, currently. With the free agency and all those people, they don't want Cody Bellinger. They don't want Jordan Montgomery. They don't want Blake Snell. It doesn't fit into their future plans. And listen, every team is different, but every team has the right to do whatever they want to do. And the Mets want to go this route. So listen, I get that the Mets aren't doing. I offer 500 mil to date Kim Kardashian. That's hilarious, bro. I'm gonna tell you this. Like I said, the Mets, they went to so much strides to get a guy like Yamamoto, and it didn't happen. Yamamoto was offered so much money. He was offered the years. It just didn't happen. It didn't happen. So the Mets, they have the money. It's not like they don't have the money. They just don't want to spend it. They don't want to spend it. You have the richest owner in all of baseball. Obviously, he could spend how much money he wants. He could do whatever the fuck he wants. He could do whatever the hell he wants. But he doesn't want to do that. He doesn't want to do that. And it is what it is. That's the Mets outlook. That's what they want to do. Me personally, in 2024, when Max Scherzer said, "Oh, they're not going to go after every big free agent and be competitive in 2024," I didn't really believe him. But then this year, you got David Stearns. You bring David Stearns, and I thought maybe it's not going to be true. Cohen, get a second job on the weekend. Oh, we need a DH. Yes, the Mets need a DH so bad. I really think they need a DH, man. The Mets need a DH. They need a guy like Jorge Soler. They need a guy like JD Martinez, bro. He would improve the batting lineup so much, man. Just imagine a DH with Jorge Soler behind Alonso or JD Martinez behind Alonso. Come on, man. Come on. Like, I get that the Mets don't want to go, but they win at, it's tough because Yamamoto is young. He was young. He was 20, 25 years old or whatever he was, and the Mets offered him so much money. I get that Jorge Soler is like, what, 31. You got Cody Bellinger. I would offer Cody Bellinger 35 mil for 1 year. I don't know if the Mets want Cody Bellinger, man. I really don't think that Cody Bellinger is Pete Alonso insurance policy. I like Cody Bellinger. I think he had a bounce back year in 2023. He had a really, really good year in 2023. I'm surprised he hasn't been signed yet. But I think he's going to sign with the Cubs. I really think he's going to sign with the Cubs. I think Montgomery's going to sign with the Rangers. I think Blake Snell is going to sign with a West Coast team, either the Angels or the Mariners. But that's my opinion on that. I really think that Bellinger, the Mets don't want Bellinger. They don't want Bellinger because Bellinger doesn't fit into their plans. But like you said, you're going to offer him 1 year for 35 mil? You could. Is he going to take it? I don't know. I think Cody Bellinger thinks he can make so much money in this free agency, and he probably is. Cody Bellinger is probably going to make 130 mil for like 4 years or some shit like that. 5 years maybe. I don't know. He's going to make a lot of money. He is. The teams just haven't signed him yet, but it's going to happen. Just like Corey Soler is going to make a lot of money. I predict Snell. No. Yuki, I'm going to tell you this. You're completely wrong about your prediction. Cody Bellinger is not going to the Yankees. And Blake Snell is not going to the Yankees. Yes, the owner wants to win. It's not like the owner cares more. It's not like that, man. It's not that the owner doesn't care. The Yankees haven't done much for a lot. You know what I'm saying? They haven't done the Yankees haven't done a lot in the recent years. This year, oh, they trade for Soto. Now the owner cares. Oh, they get a guy like Marcus Stroman. Now the owner cares. No, he doesn't. No, yes, they want to win. Steve Cohen wants to win too. For the last 2 years, you've seen what Steve Cohen has done with the Mets. You've seen what he's done. He tried to go out all out for this team. He tried to change the outlook. He tried to get a guy like Verlander, get a guy like, have the dream rotation. It just didn't work out. It didn't work out. I know Cody Bellinger is Clay. I know he did. Okay, but that's not going to happen. It's not going to happen, man. Cody Bellinger is not going to the Yankees. Cody Bellinger is not going to the Yankees at all. The Yankees, I don't know what they're gonna do next. I don't think the Yankees are planning on getting a guy like Cody Bellinger. They're done with Blake Snell because he cost way too much. He cost way too much for the Yankees. So they went out and got a guy like Marcus Stroman because once they really heard what Blake Snell wanted, 9 years. Blake Snell wanted 9 years. Are you kidding me? I'm not giving Blake Snell 9 years. He's not dependable. He had 2 really good years. And yes, he's a 2-time Cy Young winner. But no, he does not deserve a 9-year contract. No, he's not getting that. He's like, come on. And he has injuries in the past. No, I'm not giving Blake Snell 9 years. And the Yankees are not giving him 9 years either. That's why they went to get up Marcus Stroman. The Mets are the Yankees are done pitching wise. They're done with the pitching rotation. They're not going after anybody else. If they would have wanted anybody else, we would have heard about it. They're not going after Blake Snell. They're not going after Jordan Montgomery. It's not going to happen. Jordan Montgomery is not going to the Yankees. I can promise you that. I can promise you that. And Cody Bellinger, he's going to the Cubs. Or he's going to some other team, but he's not going to the Yankees. And he's not going to the Mets. Because he doesn't fit into the Mets' plans. He doesn't fit into it. And it is what it is. It is what it is. He doesn't fit into the Mets' plans. And, it's a tough one. It really is a tough one because, I like Cody Bellinger. He had a really good year, really bounce back year. But he's injury prone. You don't know what he's going to be. So are you going to give him 5 years, 6-year contract? You didn't give him a multi-year contract like that? I don't know. He is an MVP, though. He's a former MVP. So you have a lot of upside when it comes to Bellinger. But the Mets, they don't want Cody Bellinger. They have a lot of confidence in Drew Gilbert. They have a lot of confidence in, Brandon Nimmo, so they don't want to go that route. They don't want to go after Cody Bellinger. And maybe they want to hold out until Soto for 2025. I can promise you this. You're going to see in 2025, the Mets are going to go after a lot of people. The Mets, they're going to go after a lot of people. They're going to try to sign a lot of people. But this year, they wanted to take a step back. They want to take a step back, and it is what it is. That's what the Mets want to do. And, we kind of just have to accept it. Because that's Mets fans. We weren't, I know we weren't happy. I was not happy when I first heard that the Mets signed Luis Severino as the first big move. Are you kidding me? But I thought about it and I was like, okay, this is what they want to do. This is their plan. They want to do a different plan than they had in the last 2 years, going for every single free agent, going for so much money. Yes, the Mets have the richest owner in all of baseball. Yes, of course, he could have tried to sign an Ohtani, but Ohtani didn't want to go to the Mets. He didn't even call the Mets. He didn't even give an option for the Mets to call them. So, Yamamoto, they went all out for Yamamoto, but it didn't happen. It would look a lot different if the Mets would have got Yamamoto, right? If the Mets would have got Yamamoto, I know people would not be, so down on the Mets right now. But I think this year is a step back year. It's a step back year, man. Like I said, they don't have a lot of expectations. We'll see what happens, man. We'll see what happens. But I think, are they done, though? Are the Mets done after getting possibly Jake Diekman? Are the Mets done? I don't know. Are the Mets done getting guys? I don't know if the Mets are done because they had some interest in adding a bat, but I don't know if I don't know if that's gonna happen. Like, but I'm not trusting Mark Vientos, man, as the DH for a full season. Like, are you kidding me with this? I don't like that. I don't like giving Mark Vientos the full run as the DH and just trusting him for a full season. Like you guys said, get a guy like Eddie Rosario. Maybe he can help. I like Eddie Rosario. I like his bat. I like the way he plays the field. Maybe he can help the Mets. Why are we trusting Mark Vientos as the DH? I'm not trusting him, man. And I don't know if I even want him on this team, man, to be honest. You know, when it comes to prospects, Mark Vientos, I think that's the prospect that's not going to work out for the Mets. I could be wrong, and I hope I'm wrong. I hope I'm wrong, man. Randy, your favorite addition to the Mets? My favorite addition to the Mets. My favorite addition to the Mets is yeah, I would say Manaya. I like Manaya. I think Manaya is gonna have a really good year for the Mets. I'm gonna agree with you here. I'm gonna say Manaya is my favorite. Um, I like Jorge Lopez, and I think Jorge Lopez is gonna have a bounce back, year. But I don't know, man. I think Sean Manaya really is gonna have a really good year for the Mets. I like his pitching. He got the swag. You're right. He got this sweeper too. He changed his pitch. He made his new pitch. And he got his ERA down from 5 something to 3 point something. Or was it six? It was 6 point something ERA to 4 point something ERA, and it was like a sweeper pitch that he introduced, and it got a lot of strikeouts. I like Sean Manaea. I do like Jorge Lopez. I think Jorge Lopez has a lot of potential to be a really good bullpen piece for the Mets. He is one of my favorite additions to the Mets. Because I was happy when I heard about him. I thought the Mets should have had him years ago, but I hope that he has a bounce back year. But when it comes to the Mets, I think that Sean Manaea, I think he's gonna have a really good, surprising year for the Mets. And I know a lot of people weren't happy with Sean Manaea, but I'm happy with him. The Mets, Randy, better pitching staff, the Mets or the Nationals? Who the Nationals have? Who do the Nationals have? Can you please tell me? Because I don't know. I don't know who they have. Who do the Nationals have? I don't know who the Nationals have. Maybe I could look it up, but start rotation. Um. Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay. 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 Yeah. 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 They got Gore, Mackenzie Gore. I already know. I know about him. I like Josiah Gray. I like Josiah Gray. I like Mackenzie Gore. After that, let me see. Patrick Corbin is a horrible starting pitcher. Patrick Corbin is horrible. Patrick Corbin needs to retire, in my opinion, or he needs to be a bullpen pitcher or something. He can't cut it as a starter no more. He really can't. Trevor Williams. Trevor Williams, I like. I like Trevor Williams. I think Trevor Williams is a good starting pitcher, but is he he's okay. Trevor Williams is like a number 4, number 5 pitcher. Yeah, I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna say this. I think right now, when it comes to the Mets and the Nationals, who has the better pitching rotation? I'm gonna lean. I'm gonna lean. I'm gonna lean the Mets right now. I'm gonna lean the Mets. I'm gonna tell you this. Look, I like Kodai Senga. Kodai Senga is really, really good. You saw the rookie year that he had last year. You saw what he did. You saw the year that he had. You saw the amount of strikeouts he had, the record-breaking strikeouts he had. You saw, and I like Quintana. I really do like Jose Quintana. I think a lot of people are sleeping on Jose Quintana. He had a pretty good year. He came back from injury. He showed a lot. I think I like Jose Quintana as a number two. I like Adrian Hauser as well. Luis Severino, it's a bounce back year. I hope he has a good year. And then you got Sean Manaea. I mean, maybe Sean Manaea is your number three. Maybe he's your number four. But I mean, I think Sean Manaea, Kodai Senga, Quintana, Severino, Adrian Hauser. I think that's a better rotation to me than Mackenzie Core, Josiah Gray, Patrick Corbin, Trevor Williams, Jake Irvin. In my opinion, I think that the Mets have a better rotation. In my opinion, Mackenzie Core is really good. I like Mackenzie Core, and Josiah Gray had an all-star year. I like Josiah Gray too. Randy, you used to pitch. You think Edwin Diaz is going to baby the bad leg next year? I did used to pitch. I mean, I used to love pitching. I used to really love pitching. But I think Edwin Diaz is gonna come back and have a really good year. I'm happy to see him back, man. I can't wait to hear those trumpets. I just can't wait to hear those trumpets, man. I think once we hear those trumpets, it's just gonna signify that yes, we got him back. He is back on the field, and I hope that his leg and everything with an injury, you cannot push the leg. Well, I don't know, man. They say that Edwin Diaz is healthy right now. They say that he's good. He looks good in the bullpen sessions. I hope that he has a really good year. I just hope that he comes back strong, man. He needs to come back really strong for the Mets. The Mets really desperately need Edwin Diaz. Bad. The Mets need Edwin Diaz bad, baby. But yeah, no, with an injury like that, you're right. You don't want to push the leg that much, but oh man, it was just a tough injury, man. I really hope that he comes back strong because he's such an important piece for the New York Mets, man. He's such an important piece, man. Such an important piece. When it comes to Edwin Diaz, guys, you know, imagine if we would have had him last year. He could have closed like 15 games, 20 games for the Mets. You know, but yeah, man. You know, I really think that Edwin Diaz, when it comes to the Mets, he's gonna be a big piece. I'm so happy to have him back. I can't wait till he comes back. But yeah, man, I'm still trying to see if this deal is official. Like I don't know yet. Is this Jake Diekman official yet? Like I'm trying to maybe Twitter has it. I don't know, man. Did they say it's official? Did they say that his deal is official yet? Um, when New York Post posted that Mets nearing deal with Jake Meeman in bullpen boost. So he's nearing the deal, but I don't know if it's official yet. That's true. Somebody did mention. Somebody did. Somebody. Oh man. Uh, Alexa, stop. What's going on, man? What's going on with this camera? Uh, going on? Oh, let's see what's going on. Oh boy. What happened there? That was some weird stuff. Let me see. Let me see. Let me see. Let me see. Uncle Ted, what's going on? Mets need to go steal J Ram and pair him back with Lindor. J Ram is getting wasted in Cleveland. I don't disagree with you, man. I think for real, you're right about that. You were right about that. Let me just fix this. Let me fix the brightness here. I don't know why the brightness is so low. Sorry. Sorry about that. Technical difficulties, guy. Technical difficulties. All right. Yeah. So definitely Mets need to go get I like that. I like that. Getting a guy like J Ram, man. You imagine him, man, in the Mets with Lindor, the third baseman. Oh man, I would love that. I would personally love that. That would be amazing to see a guy like him, play at third base. He plays a really good third base too. He's an all-star. Like, come on, man. But it is what it is. It is what it is. But I really think it's not gonna happen though. It's not gonna happen. The Mets are not gonna trade for him. It would be nice, but it's not gonna happen. You also said that give me CJ Cron over Soler for a fraction of the cost. I'm not gonna lie. CJ Cron had a really good year. That's a good point. Is CJ Cron a free agent? I'm gonna look this up right now. Actually, CJ Cron a free agent. CJ Cron, 2024. He is was acquired. Yeah, you're right. He's a free agent. CJ Cron is a free agent. You're right. That's a good option. I like that. Going after CJ Cron instead of Jorge Soler. Maybe that could be an option for the Mets. A fraction of the cost, like you said. I like that. That's a good call. I personally, I haven't heard anything or thought about CJ Cron or really thought about him. So I didn't know he was a free agent. If I would have known he was a free agent, then definitely I would have thought about him. But definitely, I didn't. I did not know he was a free agent. That's cool. I like that though. I like what you're saying. Man, but yeah, man, just imagine J Ram on the Mets, bro. Imagine him playing third base for the Mets and Lindor. Come on. Just imagine. It would have been amazing, but it's not gonna happen. It is what it is. But yeah, man. I like the CJ Cron though. That's a good one. That's a good one. That's a good one, man. But what I was about to say is that the Mets apparently, the Mets signed Aaron Loop in 2021 following, the time in Tampa Bay. Then they signed Brooks Raley in 2023, and he had a solid 2022. And now the Mets try to sign Jake Diekman, and he had a solid 2023. So it's kind of a pattern that the Mets really like these Tampa Bay relievers recently. So good scouting by the Mets, in my opinion. I like that. I like going after Tampa Bay relievers because Tampa Bay just knows guys. They just know how to figure it out, man. Tampa Bay just turns these relievers into just better players. And I really think Jake Diekman, if he becomes a Met, I would love to see him in the bullpen. Love to see him in the bullpen. I'm still, I'm seeing a lot of close to the agreement. A lot of that he's close to the agreement. Oh, let me see here. Mets will have to make a roster move when that deal becomes official. Yeah, so it's not the Mets. I don't know. This deal isn't official just yet. It isn't official just yet. From what I've seen, maybe I'm wrong, but I don't know. Definitely on social media, I've seen a lot of close to the agreement, nearing the deal. New York Post said closing the, nearing a deal with him. But if they close this deal, that'll be good for the Mets, good for Jake Diekman. I think that it was crazy how they're going after Tampa Bay relievers. I kind of like the track record that they're doing. So yeah, you went after Aaron Loop, after having with Tampa Bay, and then you went after Brooks Raley, and now you're going after Jake Diekman. Not bad. Not bad at all. Not bad at all. Oh boy, let me just stretch a little bit. Oh boy. Oh man. But I like it. I definitely like the Mets going after those three guys. Why not? Like going after those Tampa Bay relievers, because these relievers can help you in the bullpen, man. I definitely think Jake Diekman is a plus reliever. This guy has good stuff. Yes, he's pretty older, but it is what it is. You can't always get the young relievers. And I personally would have loved to see Jordan Hicks as a Met, but it didn't happen. It didn't happen. Apparently, the Giants signed him as a starter, which is so weird to me. So weird to me. It's so weird that you signed Jordan Hicks as a starter. It's so weird. He's not going to work out as a starter. I don't know why the hell they thought he was going to be a starter. But when it comes to the Mets, your idea about CJ Cron over Soler for a fraction of the cost, I love Jorge Soler. I would have loved to see the Mets get him, but CJ Cron is a free agent too. I kind of forgot about him, and I think this guy, CJ Cron, he could be a good addition to the Mets. Like imagine Pete Alonso, Yuki said, who the hell is Jake Diekman? Jake Diekman is a lefty reliever. He's been in the league for some time. He's 37 years old. He was with the Tampa Bay Rays last year. He had a good year. He's a lefty reliever. He was drafted by the Phillies. He's a reliever. That's all you really need to know is he's a reliever. He's a lefty reliever. He's good. He's good. Look, let's see here. Jake. I'm going to see Jake Diekman. His stats for 2023. Let me see here. He pitched to a 3.34 ERA. So not the best ERA in the world, not the worst though. 3.34 ERA. Jake Diekman, a lefty. I like it. I like it because I think this is going to help out the Mets bullpen. And I know, maybe some people don't like it, but I like it. I think Jake Diekman is going to be a plus reliever for the Mets. But what I was going to say is Stearns trying to find something to hope on, but really they will dump the rest of the team by the deadline. That could be true. That could be true. That could definitely be true, or it could not be true. Do we really need to waste a whole season to learn about the players? What it's not like a waste. Because you don't know what it's gonna be. You don't know what the Mets are gonna do in 2024. So like Diamondbacks, Perfect example is the Diamondbacks lost so many games in 2022. They lost so many games. Nobody thought they were going to be a really good team in 2023 and win the National League, championship. Nobody thought they were going to make it to the World Series. You know, so baseball's so unpredictable that we don't know what it's going to be. We don't know how they're going to play out. We don't know if the Mets are going to be better than the Marlins. We don't know if the Mets are going to be better than the Nationals. We don't know if they're going to end up getting a wild card. What if they end up getting a wild card and they make a trade and they go far? You don't know. You literally don't know. That's the thing about the Mets. You don't know, man. And that's what I love about baseball because it's unpredictable. So I don't think that this is a waste of the season. I think that they took a step back and they didn't want to sign so many free agents like they did in the last 2 years. You wait for guys like Justin Verlander, Max Scherzer, what's it called? You went for so many free agents and it just didn't work out. So why not take a step back here? And this is not like a punt on the season. This is just a step back from the financials. But they still have the really good. They still have Francisco Alvarez. They still have Francisco Lindor. They still have Pete Alonso. They still have so much people. They still have their core. It's not like they don't have their core. So it's not like it's a waste of the season. Like they're gonna punt the season. Like they're the worst team in the world. Like let's take a step back. Like let's really think about what we're saying here. They're not wasting the season. It's not gonna be a waste. You don't know. Maybe it will. Maybe they won't have a good season. Maybe they will have a mediocre season. Maybe they'll lose 80 games, 90 games. But we don't know what it's going to be. Maybe they're going to win 85 games. Maybe they're going to make it to the playoffs. Maybe they're going to make a wild card. Maybe they're going to, go far in the playoffs. I have no clue. But that's what I love about baseball because it's unpredictable. You don't know what's going to happen. So we can't really say it's going to waste the season. I can't agree with you that it's going to be a waste of the season to learn about the players because you want to learn about your young players. Every team learns about their young players. But, every team is in a different spot. It's 30 teams in all of baseball, man. It's hard to win the World Series. It's hard to win the chip. So when it comes to the Mets, what they're doing, I don't think it's a waste. I just think that it's a step back year. And when it comes to getting a guy like, getting really big free agents, they didn't feel good about the market like they did in 2022. I mean, yeah. So, yeah, that's it, man. I really think this is not a waste of the season. They're learning about their players. It is what it is. At the end of the day, that's what the Mets want to do. And I know a lot of people aren't happy about it. I get it. I get what you're not happy about. And I get that it looks like a waste and it looks like they're punting the season, but they're not. They're not. If they were punting the season, if they were going for a full rebuild, they would have traded Lindor. They would have traded Pete Alonso. They would have traded, but they're not doing that because it's not a rebuild. It's not a rebuild. It's a reset. It's a little reset. It's a reset year. Okay? So let's take a step back. Let's chill out for a little bit. Let's have a little patience. Listen, if the season isn't going well and they end up being one of the worst teams in all of baseball, then that's on David Stearns. But I think I really feel confident in that bullpen. I like that bullpen. I like with Jake Diekman especially. I like Edwin Diaz coming back. I like Ottavino, even though he is a little inconsistent. I like Jorge Lopez. We don't know what he's going to be yet. I like Brooks Raley still, so I like those guys, but the Mets, like I said, they still have their core. They still have Francisco Alvarez. They still have Brett Beatty. They still, Brett Beatty, I'm not the highest on right now. I know he needs to prove something to me. He needs to prove something to himself. He needs to prove something to the organization because he hasn't been good. Brett Beatty hasn't been good. He has not been good, and I'm not happy with Brett Beatty. I'm not happy with Mark Vientos either. And, giving Mark Vientos the full run in the 2024 DH, that's not my decision. I don't approve of that decision. Like, I would love to get a guy like Jorge Soler, get a guy like, CJ Crone, get a guy like, those people, but it's not going to happen. The Mets don't want to do that, so it is what it is because it doesn't fit into their plans. And we just gotta, as Mets fans, we just gotta we just gotta respect that because we are Met fans. We are fans of the organization. So they don't want to, go all out this year. Then it is what it is. They tried to get a big time pitcher in Yamamoto, and it didn't happen. It didn't happen. You know. So yeah, it didn't happen. They didn't get Yamamoto. It is what it is. They ended up getting Severino, Adrian Hauser, Sean Manaea. They didn't end up going for the big time free agents. It is what it is at the end of the day. But I definitely think that this is not a waste of the season because you don't know what the season is going to be. So yeah, man. I know a lot of people aren't happy. I get it. But let's not say this is a waste of the season, please. Because it's not. It's not a waste of the season. In my opinion, this is not a waste of the season. But yeah, man, when it comes to the Mets in 2024, I know, we're not so happy with what's going on with the Mets right now. And I get it. I understand. I get it. But let's just have some patience, man. Let's just see how it works out. Like, you don't know what they're going to be. You don't know what the 2024 Mets are going to look like. You have no clue. And I don't know either. I have no clue. I don't know what the Mets are going to do. Which prospect will we see at Citi Field first? I think it's going to be I'm still debating on it. Which prospect are we going to see first in Citi Field? I'm going to say we're going to see Drew Gilbert first in Citi Field. I think he's going to be the first call up out of those guys like Jet Williams and Luis Angel Acuna. I think Jet Williams, I know a lot of people, they will probably say he would be the first because Jet Williams right now is just making strides in the system. And a lot of people have a lot of confidence in Jet Williams. But me personally, I think that when it comes to the Mets, I think that Drew Gilbert has a lot of potential, and I think he's going to shock a lot of people. And I think he's going to be really good. I think he's going to be really, really good. So. Oh, you predict Christian Scott? Oh, well. We're going by pitching. Pitching, I'm going to say Mike Vassell. We're going by pitching. I'm going to say Mike Vassell. Mike Vassell is going to be the first call up for the Mets in Citi Field. I'm going to say him. I think that the Mets have a winning record on July 31st, and they will be buyers. Sanders, I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to disagree with you. I don't know what they're going to be. But I'm going to tell you this. Like I said, they perform when the Mets don't have a lot of high expectations. They do really good. And they don't have a lot of high expectations this year. So, I mean, we'll see. We'll see at the end of the day. We'll see. They do not have a lot of high expectations. But will they be buyers by July 31st? That's a tough call, man. I don't know. I truly don't. I don't know because but what I'm going to say is that the Mets have some things going for them. The Mets have Pete Alonso coming back to his last year for the Mets. Major league arbitration. This is his last year until he's a free agent. I think that's going to motivate him to hit like 50 home runs, 60 home runs. He's going to have a monster year. You're going to see Pete Alonso break records. You're going to see him have a monster year. So that's what I say the Mets have going for them. I think another positive is Sean Manaea. I think Sean Manaea is going to be a positive as well. I'm gonna predict that Pete Alonso has a really, really good year. Sean Mania has a good year as well. Kodai Senga has a good year. Quintana has a good year. Oh yeah, your thoughts on the Mets call? Oh gosh. Oh my gosh. The thoughts on the Mets caught signing an 11-year-old in the international freeze. I haven't really read much about that, but I heard that there was some age stuff with him, and it wasn't really his age. And there's no, he was 11 years old. Are you for real? Is that really a thing? He was 11 years old. He was really 11 years old. There's no way. There's no way he was 11 years old. Is that, are you exaggerating with me? Because I literally don't know. I don't know the how old he was, but I know it wasn't. He lied about his age or something like that. But it sucks. It sucks. I mean, it is what it is. So because some international free agents work out. Like I personally think Ronnie Mauricio is going to work out for the Mets. I think Francisco Alvarez, you've seen what he already has done for the Mets as an international free agent, because he was an international free agent. So, you got Alexi Ramirez, who's also an international free agent. Alexi Ramirez hasn't been really good. Francisco Alvarez has been good, and Ronnie Mauricio got hurt, but he was good. He was good for that little bit month that he had in the season. Uh, I think that it just sucks. It sucks. It sucks. Sometimes the Mets get unlucky. They got unlucky with the guy that they try to sign, and then he ended up, for injury, for medical reasons, the Mets didn't end up signing him, and so they wasted a whole draft year. So like it's what's his name, Kumar Rocker or something like that. That was his name. Sometimes the Mets get unlucky, and it is what it is. But I hope that the Mets do a better job of scouting and that type of stuff, especially international free agents. Come on, are did they not know that he lied about his age, or I have no clue. I don't know. Yeah, I literally don't know what happened with that story. If you could tell me, then you could tell me. But I really don't know. I'm just gonna take a little break. Just gonna grab something else to drink real quick. Sorry. I'll be back. I'll be right back. I'll be right back, man. Oh man. But yeah, guys, anything else you guys want to talk about regarding the Mets or Yankees or baseball teams or whatever you guys want to talk about? I'm still looking here. We're over here an hour and 44 minutes on the stream right now. So glad we're doing the stream a little longer. But yeah, I don't know, man. You know, it's weird because some Met fans don't like what Stearns is doing, and some Met fans do. So I think this year is going to say a lot about the Mets going forward. I think that a lot of Met fans are not happy with what David Stearns is doing. Some Met fans are happy because they see the vision, they see what he's trying to do, they see and they trust his track record, which is a big thing. But I don't know what's gonna come of it. I think when it comes to the Mets, they have a lot of hard decisions to make future wise, especially 2025, because you're gonna have so many prospects coming up like at a time. Like Jet Williams will probably be up. You're gonna have Luis Angel Acuna up. You're gonna have Drew Gilbert up, and you're gonna have Ronnie Mauricio up. So you're gonna have a log jam of prospects coming up. You're gonna have to find positions for them to play. You're gonna, so it's gonna be a lot when it comes to the Mets going forward, future wise. But I'm excited. I'm excited about the future. I'm excited about Drew Gilbert. I'm excited about Luis Angel Acuna. I'm excited about Ronnie Mauricio. Really excited. I can't wait for Ronnie Mauricio to come back. That's my guy. I've been a fan of him since I heard that we signed him. But yeah, man, and he's grown into his power. He's grown into his swing. He got hurt. It is what it is. But I can't wait till he comes back. Really can't. But when it comes to the Mets, I know maybe this year some executives would have did things differently, but this is the way David Stearns wanted to go about it. He wanted to not sign so many people, not spend so much money, because this is not just David Stern's decisions. This is also Steve Cohen's, and he has a lot of confidence. He has a lot of confidence in what's it called, Steve Cohen and David Stearns. Steve Cohen has a lot of confidence in David Stearns. He waited 3 years to get him as a president of baseball operations. So, hey guys, if you guys want to talk about anything else, we definitely can. But yeah, man, I'm gonna stream for 13 more minutes. Do a 2-hour stream today, and we're gonna be streaming more for sure. I'm happy with the way it's been going, the interactions I've got. You guys are awesome. You guys are really awesome. Can't really say much, And I took a little break. Had to reset the setup. Had some furniture coming in. It was a lot going on, and but I'm glad that the setup is back. We're good, and yeah, man, I'm excited. I'm excited about the Mets. I'm excited about what they're doing. I'm excited to hear about the news about Jake Diekman. I hope it becomes official. I'm still gonna look up. I'm still gonna look up if it's official here, but. Um, Oh, Jet Williams, Drew Gilbert, Christian Scott, Mike Vassell, Dominic Hamill, Kevin Parada, Eric Horse, Hayden Senger, Tomas Nito, Nate Lavender are gonna be all in spring training. They're getting invites. I'm excited to hear about this news. Jet Williams, to see him in spring training, to see a Drew Gilbert, to see a Christian Scott, a Mike Vassell. I guess Luis Angel Acuna didn't get an invite, which is weird. That's a little weird, right? Oh, Acuna's already. Acuna's already on the 40-man roster. So those are non-roster, invites. So I like it. I like it a lot. Jet Williams, Drew Gilbert, Christian Scott. I was gonna go crazy. I'm like, where the fuck is Luis Angel Acuna? But that makes sense. That makes sense. Makes a lot of sense here, man. Yeah, we're gonna be streaming for 10 more minutes. 10 more minutes. We're going to be streaming. I can't wait to see them in spring training, though. I think, the news of Jet Williams being in spring training, Drew Gilbert, Luis Angel Acuna, you got a lot of prospects that we want to see in spring training. Mike Vassell, Dominic Hamilman, and Christian Scott. I love it. I'm excited to hear that these guys are going to be in spring training. Yeah, man, I'm excited. I am excited. But yeah, man, if you guys want to talk about anything else, we definitely can. If not, we all good. I'm just going to end up streaming for 9 more minutes. 9 more minutes, baby. 9 more minutes. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. But yeah, guys, overall stream thoughts. Thought the stream went well. Thought a lot of people came out. This wasn't even a scheduled stream. I just ended up just coming up and just talking to you guys, talking Mets baseball, talking anything, when it comes to the Mets. And I'm excited the way it went out. Some people came, some people left, some people stayed, some people had a good time, some talking baseball, talking Mets. And, I heard some opinions. I didn't agree with so many opinions. I agreed with some opinions, and but that's how baseball is, because not everybody's always going to think the way I think. So I think the Mets going forward, I like the outlook. I like what they're doing, and we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. Obviously, I'm going to be streaming more for you guys for sure. So just tune into more streams. Definitely going to be streaming a lot more. But yeah, man, I'm excited the way the stream turned out. It went good. And yeah, man, it took some time to get some furniture set up and some stuff and in this room. And it was like, let me set some things up, man. Let me set some things up. So I'm happy. I got my setup, everything Gucci, everything Gucci. So yeah, man. I'm excited. I'm excited. Mm-hmm. So we're gonna stream for 6 more minutes. We got 6 more minutes. Yeah, man. We'll see what happens with the Mets, man. I really think that they got something. I think they did some things. They surprised a lot of people. They, in maybe not so good way. Not making some crazy moves, not going. But it's not like they didn't go for a big free agent. They went for Yamamoto. It just didn't happen. Now they want to save some money. They don't like the free agency market the way it is right now. They wanted to fix the bullpen. That was their focus. And they ended up getting out of Vino and possibly Jake Diekman. Because I'm not going to say that Jake Diekman's deal is official, but definitely is going to hopefully be official soon. and I hope he signs with the Mets. I think that Jake Diekman had a good year with Tampa Bay, 3.34 ERA. So when it comes to the Mets, I like the bullpen. This is just a recap of the stream, but because what I talked about. But Jorge Lopez, I think, is going to have a good bounce back year for the Mets. I really liked when I heard about Jorge Lopez signing. Michael Tomlin, I heard, is also good, but I don't really know a lot about him. It was a minor league signing. They're working on maybe some upside with him. Then you got, what's it called? Drew Smith, who like Drew Smith, I don't know. Drew Smith, I don't know. I don't know what Drew Smith is gonna be. I don't know what Drew Smith is gonna be because he showed some potential in 2023, but not really good because he ended up giving up a lot of home runs and wasn't all good. And then you got Brooks Raley. I like Brooks Raley. I think Brooks Raley, Buck Showalter used them okay, and you got Edwin Diaz coming back. You got Ottavino coming back. So that's the bullpen. That's probably going to be the bullpen guys and Jake Diekman. So you got two lefties. You got Jorge Lopez. You got Edwin Diaz, and you got Ottavino. In my opinion, you got a better bullpen than you had in 2023. Because in 2023, who they had? What? David Robertson, Drew Smith, Ottavino, Brooks Raley. That's it. That was really their options. Well, you also have Phil Bickford also this year as well, and because he's back too. But that's really the bullpen. That's really going to be the bullpen going into 2024. But I just hope that the Mets end up being successful. Mets, they do something, and we'll see. We'll see. But yeah, man, I'm excited. I'm excited about what the Mets. I'm excited about baseball, man. I can't wait for baseball to come back because I love baseball so much. Baseball's like my life, bro. I literally talk baseball. I love baseball. I play baseball, like games and stuff. I don't really play, baseball a lot anymore. I used to when I was younger play a lot of baseball, but things end up changing, and it is what it is. But yeah, man, if you enjoyed the stream, do me a favor, leave a like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. And this is where you get your latest Mets media, everything you know about the Mets on this channel. And I'm happy to be back. I've got more consistent videos coming for you guys. I got more opinions. I got more reports. I got a lot more coming. I got more streams. So look out for that, man. So we got a lot coming in February, baby. February is going to be a good month for this channel. I can't wait for, this month, man. This month is going to be a really good month for us. We're going to make some strides, so let's freaking go, man. I'm happy. I'm excited the way the channel is going. I'm excited about the Mets outlook in 2024, going into 2025 as well next year. I'm excited about a lot, but I'm definitely excited about this channel. I'm excited about what's to come because I'm going to get a lot of people on this channel soon, and I can't wait for that as well. So just look out, definitely, yeah, if you enjoyed, do me a favor, put in the comments you enjoyed the stream, man. And let me know your opinions on everything we talked about in the stream. We talked about the 2024 outlook. We talked about the bullpen. We talked about the addition of Jake Diekman. We talked about, the possible addition of Jake Diekman. We talked about, the roster. We talked about the opinions of David Stearns, what was going on. And I know, Met fans not being happy. Met fans thinking that this is Dumpster Dave. So that's what we talked about in the stream. That's really it. But yeah, man, if you enjoyed the stream, definitely do me a favor, leave a like, comment, subscribe. This is All Things Media. This is All Things Mets. All Things Mets, where you get your latest Mets media. Sorry, I've been talking for almost 2 hours. I'm a little tired, when it comes to the voice, but I'm excited, man. I think this is going to be a good month for us. So let's freaking go. Let's go, Mets. All Things Mets, baby. And I'm out of here. Have a good one, y'all.